Every community, right? Every neighborhood, everyone's opinions about what makes a neighborhood great. If we don't have those voices as architects, then those stories get lost or they're never heard, and that's a tragedy.
Welcome back to the podcast From Dirt to Doorknobs. I'm your host, Brian Zanini. This episode is hosted and sponsored by Calhoun-Co Construction. We're here to pull back the curtain on the building industry here in San Diego and talk to influential people in our industry in all of the different aspects of building here in San Diego. Today's guest is the ultimate connector in that ecosystem. We have Bennett Peji, is the executive director of the AIA here in San Diego with over 38 years of experience in social impacts, as a civic leader, an international design advocate. Bennett's not the one doing the blueprints, but he is highly involved with getting people connected and building the architectural industry here and part of all over the world with the AIA. But yeah, thank you for being on the show and very excited to learn more about the AIA and your involvement.
Hey, I'm thrilled to be here, so thank you for the invite.
Of course. And you are a busy guy, as we learned walking into this room, and thanks again for hosting us here. It's an amazing facility, and we're in this amazing AI room that can translate live conversation all across the world. And I mean, if you want to tell us a little bit about that, just because this is a really interesting and cool room.
Yeah,
tell us what you use it for.
Yeah, no, absolutely. This is the new School of Architecture and Design. We're literally privileged to be able to share this space. We're hosted here by the school. It's got several hundred students. It literally is a phenomenal place. It's the only accredited architecture program in San Diego.
Awesome. And that's and you're at the head of the ship.
I'm at the head of the AIA San Diego ship, not the school. I'm just honored to be here. Yes, yeah.
Awesome.
Working with the school directly.
Well, we're happy to be here with you today. The man, the mission, and essentially talking a little bit about your background. What kind of got you started or interested in architecture and being such a large part of, what that means to any major city or even some smaller cities? What drove you to the AIA and your current position?
Hey, man, I wanted to be an architect in high school.
Okay.
But if I didn't get a full ride scholarship somewhere, I wasn't going because we didn't have the resources.
Yeah.
So I ended up getting accepted to the architecture program, but not getting that scholarship meant I had to stay in town so I could live at home and go to college, right? So I went to both UCSD and San Diego State.
Awesome. Yeah, I went to Cal State San Marcos, so I did the same thing. Lived at home half the time, and sometimes you just got to make things work. And my friends always used to all the ones that left and went to different cities were like, "When are you going to get out of San Diego?" And when it stops looking like this, and when the women stop being beautiful and the waves stop rolling in. So I never left, and this is probably going to be my forever home. And I love the city, and I love seeing some of the developments and the things that are happening here. Obviously, we have a little bit of a housing crisis, and architects help to solve that problem alongside with the builders here in the industry.
Yeah.
So tell me a little bit. It looks like you served on the International Council of Design, won a massive Civic award. As not a practicing architect yourself, what specifically, what are kind of your goals in this role as far as what you're doing with the AIA?
Yeah, well, I got to start with, I will reiterate the love for the city, but also the love for the region.
Yeah.
Tijuana, this Baja California mega region, all of it. I married an architect from Mexico, from Tijuana specifically. Awesome. She practices interior design in San Diego. And she used to work for one of the most prestigious architecture firms in town. And it's our forever home. But having said that, we have traveled and we brought our kids to many, many countries around the world. So they've got the travel bug in a big way. So that's awesome. How we've kind of expanded our horizons. I'll say one last thing about that if you don't have the resources to travel around the world, most of the world is our own backyard.
Yes.
Literally, community festivals, cultural festivals are everywhere. So we tried to hit them all up.
Yeah.
In every neighborhood and discovered that, there's probably 70 plus different cultural events and festivals every year in San Diego.
Yeah, at least.
There's no shortage. Yeah, there you go, at least, absolutely.
And we are lucky enough and fortunate enough to live in somewhat of a melting pot of a city, right? We have a lot of different cultural representation here from all over the world. And it's one of the reasons why I think the food is so good here. I will argue all day long that San Diego has some of the best food in the country because of that. But it does give you an opportunity to kind of jump from one neighborhood to another and really feel a cultural presence. So yeah, that's part of the reason why I'm here. I'm raising kids here. I want them to feel that and to feel driven to travel and explore other parts of the world. So I love that you have two daughters. You said 20 and
23.
23.
Yeah, one is doing her study abroad in Madrid. The other did her study abroad in London a year and a half ago before she graduated from college.
Awesome.
Now works in the LA area as a designer herself. And both have the travel bug big time.
Yes.
They're traveling to many dozens of countries in their short lives so far.
That's amazing. You guys are just a design family.
We want inspiration, not just architectural inspiration in the built environment, but the cultural vibe, the food, the people, the camaraderie, the spirit of it, and honoring us by allowing us to visit and feel welcomed in so many countries has been such a blessing.
That's amazing.
Yeah.
Did want to talk a little bit. There's a large national convention coming here this year. That's the AIA National Convention. It hasn't been here, from what you told me, in 23 years.
23 years.
Tell us a little bit about what to expect from that convention, how to get involved either as a vendor or if you just want to go walk around, what that kind of looks like.
Yeah, absolutely. It's probably the biggest design event in the country this year. It happens to be in San Diego this year. It's AIA, American Institute of Architects. So we get to basically play host here in San Diego. We expect 12,000 to 15,000 architects, designers, manufacturers, engineers from around the world to be here from June 10th through June 13th.
Awesome.
And I'll throw a little stats at you. There's going to be
Please.
350 sessions, 287 speakers. We've organized 55 architect-led tours, not just of San Diego, but the region, including Tijuana and Valle de Guadalupe, which is like blowing up in terms of,
I love it down there. My wife and I have been down a couple times.
There you go.
Is it blowing up? Is it getting?
It's amazing.
Yeah,
It's like 200 wineries there now.
Yeah.
The food scene,
Unbelievable.
if you want to feel like you're literally taking an exotic vacation somewhere, but you're only driving an hour south of the border.
So close.
There it is.
Yeah, it's
right?
amazing. I
There
think
it is.
we went to a Michelin star restaurant down there where
Yes.
the Michelin chef himself was the one cooking our meal, and I was like, for the price, I couldn't believe what we were eating and
There
the
you
type
go.
of food and just the energy and everything that comes with it, right? I just think that's amazing.
Yeah, well, they invented Baja Med cuisine,
Right.
and so now it's caught on, won all the awards around the world, culinary awards, and then the eco resorts there are just as
unbelievable.
great as any place you'll find anywhere in the world.
What are some of your favorite spots down there?
Oh my gosh,
In Valle.
in Valle, Encuentro, Guadalupe, right? In amazing. We've stayed at a bunch. I don't know if I can rattle the names off the top of my head. We just stayed at one a few months ago. Gosh, you know what? I'll send you a list.
Please do. Yeah. We're looking to go back,
on
but
this vlog, yeah.
it's been a few years since we've been down there. I'm sure
Yeah.
it's changed quite a bit since then. So yeah, please send me a list if you have some.
Yeah.
Yeah, and just wanted to talk a little bit. You're very involved in the architectural and design side. What interaction do you guys have as an association directly with builders here in San Diego?
Yeah, well, profound, really, because one of our 4 pillars is literally supporting architects in every stage of their career. Right. So at every stage of their career, there's possibly a different interaction.
Absolutely.
Right. From when you're young and you're literally drafting and you're model building. Now it's all digital, but the point is being able to really help visualize the vision for both the architects and the clients, the developers, the projects. Is key, and then all the way down when they're speccing things out, the materials, working with great partners in manufacturing, and essentially going through all of the documentation and creation of all the assets that need to be identified. That often falls to younger architects. And then when you get to project management and all those things, then it's a whole nother level of really being able to firsthand capture what clients and builders envision being part of making our community better.
Yeah, and I would let you share a little bit about, this is an institute, right, where you guys have, I'll let you talk about kind of how many students, what the success rate is, and what that looks like, and where you kind of see, I guess, start with that, and maybe talk a little bit about where you see the direction of architecture here in San Diego going.
Yeah, so a lot of it I will credit an amazing board. I mean, you said at the very beginning I may be the head of the snake. Not really. It's like a big boa constrictor, fully strong, fully robust, and it's because of the board.
Right.
Really, architects who give up of their amazing talent and time for the cause of the industry to make sure that the ultimate visions of sustainability, right, of improving every neighborhood and every community is at the forefront and voiced to the whole community. So they're role models, right? And this past week, we really started interviewing them, video interviewing them to tell their story, because they give up so many hundreds of hours and no one knows that they're doing it, right? And so for the first time, possibly in the history of this chapter, and this chapter is 98 years old, we're almost 100 years old, we've never really profiled the good designers and architects who've been on the board. And so we just started that series. So
I love that.
Every other week, we're releasing 2 new videos, and you'll get to hear their story.
Awesome. I will definitely check those out. Where can people find those?
So our website, AIASanDiego.org, is the main website.
Awesome.
Of course. Yeah, and then I forgot to give the URL for the conference itself.
Yes.
It's conferenceonarchitecture.com. Conferenceonarchitecture.com. Yeah.
I better see you all there. Okay. Yeah, I'm definitely going to go. I'm looking forward to that. Like I said, I don't want to wait another 23 years for an opportunity for it to be here in San Diego. And I guess knowing that there are so many architects here going through the program, graduating and moving into careers with either existing architectural firms or maybe even potentially starting their own, what advice do you have for anyone that's maybe in high school or a little younger who has thought about architecture or maybe not even thought about architecture? What are some things they should consider about architecture and why they should get involved?
Yeah. So first things first, all our programs, all of our events, right, are pretty much free to all students. And in fact, AIA membership, if you're from an architecture program, is free when you graduate for a year and a half after graduating. So you have a pretty decent runway to find that career job. And so we give you that runway, right, by not charging you to be an AIA member. And so we hope that that means that you're in the circle of architects who are leading this industry, and you're being influenced by that vibe.
I love that.
Yeah, and so we try to knock down every barrier possible. In fact, at the conference, which is a 4-day conference, which I don't know if I mentioned, there's also 600 vendors exhibiting in the sales floor.
Wow.
So you'll see all kinds of, the whole industry as well out there besides the architecture community. It's $35 for a student.
That's amazing.
That's it for all 4 days. Yeah.
That's like the price of a burrito now. or a gallon of gas, right?
Not, man, but
I know, we're going that direction.
Gas? Yeah. Okay.
Maybe, yeah. I love that. And so I love that there's so many vendors that are interested in participating. And, I think that vendors coming to the conference, there's a lot of opportunity to get in front of architects and bump shoulders with the people that are making change and designing the future. What kind of sets apart a vendor from somebody that maybe wants to be a little bit more involved on a collaboration side? And, outside of coming to the events, is there an opportunity for builders to do like a meet and greet or any type of those like events, networking events?
Sure.
I know that you guys host like project walkthroughs, which I think are really cool. Talk a little bit about those.
Yeah, we have several events a year. Like I said, on AIASanDiego.org, you can see our calendar. Several events a year. We got 2 this week. We've had 3 this week, but tomorrow night here at New School will be an AI in architecture presentation.
Awesome.
So that'll be amazing. And then the next day on Friday, it'll be at Bread and Salt, the cool arts venue in Barrio Logan Heights. And there will be Drew Lords from Office of Office in LA will be coming down to talk more about a binational approach to architecture and designing, and with the community in mind.
I love
that's
that.
going to be really inspirational as well.
I think that's really, really cool.
So we have 12 committees. So if someone is interested, either as a vendor or a manufacturer, or architect or designer, engineer, anything along the way, yeah, hit us up. We got 12 committees, and one of the ones that is just hitting the ground running literally this week is CRAN, the Custom Residential.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, committee. So
Oh.
right up your alley, right?
Let me write that down.
Exactly. And so, we hope to incorporate a whole series of custom residential tours, learnings, all kinds of stuff. But we got everything else covered as well. Sustainability, equity and diversity, emerging architects, multifamily housing, all kinds of committees that are focused on every aspect of the business, the industry, and the community engagement.
Right.
Because that is part and parcel to it. Because a couple of the committees we have are literally advocacy committees,
Yeah.
and government relations committees.
Right.
Because if we are not actually legislating, advocating, not legislating, but advocating for proper legislation that supports our community, then we aren't collectively using our voice to its best use.
And your knowledge and your experience.
Yeah. And we were a couple months ago on Capitol Hill in Washington, D.C. I think it was 570 strong on the Hill at the same time, advocating for legislation to continue housing credits, to continue Design Freedom Acts, to continue legislation that supports affordable housing. And one of the things that is currently impacting education, because we're at New School, is that we have to undo the current policy to take architecture off the list of federal loan grantable profession majors, rather.
Right.
Which is crazy. There's a limit of only $20,000, which means if you're not a family of privilege, you're going to have a hard time justifying sending your young people, your kids to architecture school.
Right. Yeah.
And so that right off the bat affects, right?
Yeah, the growth of the architecture industry as a whole, right?
Yeah.
If we can't get people into programs where they're getting excited about design and getting excited about making change, if there's no actual way for them to do that because it's a financial burden.
Yeah, and from every community, right? Every neighborhood, everyone's opinions about what makes a neighborhood great, as much as there is a lot of commonality in terms of safety, healthness. We all want our kids to be raised in those healthy, safe environments. There's also the cultural nuances that makes every neighborhood potentially very unique.
Very unique.
And if we don't have those voices as architects, then those stories get lost, or they're never heard, and that's a tragedy.
I agree, and I don't want to see that happen to our city, and I don't think it will, because I think, like you mentioned, there's a lot of people out there advocating for legislation change and making sure that we put the right laws in place to allow design freedom and expression and really honoring the neighborhoods that are cultural and have some cultural dynamic. And that's exciting to me, and I can't wait. I know San Diego looks a lot different than when I first moved here. I moved here when I was 14, so shoot, I don't want to age myself, but over 25 years ago, and I've seen it change even in my short time here.
Yeah.
And I'm excited to see kind of how it continues to change. What's your outlook, or what would be something that you would say to someone like who's opposed to taking advantage of density and really utilizing our zoning and our current coding to create additional habitable space here in San Diego so that more people have places to live?
Yeah.
I think that's probably something that you guys are addressing on a daily basis when it comes to fighting for legislation and new housing here in San Diego. What do you think some of the best ways you guys are approaching that, and how other people can get involved?
Well, architects are unquestionably the best people to find the right balance.
100%.
That's what they live for, right? Architects live for making sure that the proper density, so that more people literally can live in concentrated areas that's walkable and close to the amenities that we all want.
Yep.
While designing it with the proper features and character that enhances the neighborhood and doesn't, obliterate, the character of the neighborhood.
Absolutely.
I think we're fortunate that, again, AIA and the board members that I have are all about that.
Love that.
Right? Yeah.
That's great to hear as a builder, because we see different types of plans come across our desk all the time, and I don't mind building the squares and the rectangles because it's a place for someone to live. I think that's amazing, and you can do a lot with a square and a rectangle. But really honoring, I think, before we even started the podcast, going to places like Spain, going to places, I lived in Argentina, and really just diving into a culture feels so much more natural when you're surrounded by architectural buildings and like design that really honors the upbringing of a culture and a society and a community.
Yeah.
What do you think are some of like the key aspects when it comes down to designing to create a good community or culture within a certain neighborhood?
Yeah. We have a notion that comes from national, but we have fully embraced it in San Diego of citizen architects. The idea that that architects are involved in their neighborhood, their community.
Yes.
It starts with maybe their kid's school, but it starts with the PTA, but it also starts with the HOA, and it starts with the planning group for the neighborhood, and then it can go up to all the way to all the commissions that the city has and the county has, and actually participating so that they are on the ground hearing and being part of what needs to happen, right?
That, yeah.
That they're not reinterpreting it so separately.
They're not disengaged or out of touch with the community.
Yeah.
They're involved.
Yeah.
And I think that, especially in a city like San Diego, where there are so many different municipalities and zip codes and zoning and coding regulations that change depending on where you live in this beautiful city.
And I get it. We've got, at this moment, like 998 members of AIA San Diego.
Yeah.
And they're all over the map in general, but we are most likely to be the ones who have that principle in mind, right?
Yes.
The community benefit.
And I love that. And you guys just pushing that early on, even I would imagine in the academic level, like get involved in your community and learn like where you really want to design. Like as a builder, we found that working with architects in specific areas, because we have clients that come to us all the time that are just getting started. Mm-hmm. And hey, I live in Encinitas and I really want to design here. And having an architect that is involved in that community and knows the zoning and the coding, in any given city here in San Diego is detrimental to planning smart and being proactive in the design and understanding what can and can't be done. So you're not going through a bunch of rounds of comments when you submit the plans, right? So
and it's so complicated, right? So if you're in a cohort, right, like-minded professionals like AIA, then it helps expedite the knowledge sharing exponentially, right? And AIA, those who are involved and have an AIA accreditation to the licensure, literally have to continue with 18 units, continuing ed credits every year for their entire career.
Right.
So that requires them to stay involved, be involved, stay on top of the latest developments, improvements, safety, regulations, legislation, everything. And that is a hard task, but collectively, our job is to make it easier, right? Feed them the links, the workshops, the tutorials that we get from national as well and from our colleagues around the country. We have 210 chapters around the country.
Wow.
We got over 101,000 members. So we're the biggest design organization in the world.
I was going to say,
so as a collective think tank, right?
Yes.
Shared knowledge.
The resources are
robust.
there. Yeah, that's amazing. And I had no idea that it was that large, and it's really cool for me to learn more about the AIA and your role here. I'm gonna cut up and do a segment that we're gonna try out.
Okay.
It's the San Diego Rapid Fire segment.
Right.
Just to learn a little bit more about you and your opinions about this wonderfully cultural, diverse city that we live in.
I'm game.
So we're gonna start with the Great Debate.
All right.
If you have to choose one of the two to represent San Diego forever as a staple, is it the California burrito or the fish taco?
Oh, man. Both quality items. By the way, because I know so much now about the region, the burrito is a misnomer. It's actually a burro. That's what we call that wrapped product. Burrito is a little version of a burro. So when we say burrito grande, that's a complete contradiction.
It's a contradiction.
Super contradiction.
So the California burritos that I get that are this big,
that's what I'm saying.
It's a California burro.
Burro.
Oh, okay.
Yeah,
burro.
Thank you. I would say that is a complete California San Diego icon, right? And the carne asada that's in it and all that stuff, fantastic. But I'm going to go for the fish taco, the Baja California kind of invention that's permeated the world.
Yes.
You know, that to me feels like it's the right choice for me. I
That's
love
my
both,
go-to.
but I think I'd swing towards the.
That's my go-to if I'm not looking for a nap afterwards. Okay, Friday commutes. If you're heading down to this area, especially on a Friday afternoon, and you're stuck in traffic, what are you turning on music-wise or podcast-wise to keep yourself sane in the traffic?
Oh, wow. I'm pretty eclectic, I will say. I'm a rock and roll guy, you know, from the 80s and 70s. But I will say my heart of hearts has always been the old school 50s and 60s crooners.
Okay.
The you know, Nat King Cole's, the Frank Sinatras. And here's the hilarious thing. Probably organically, my kids grew up hearing that stuff. So believe it or not, my daughters are now into what's called Soldies, which is soul oldies.
Oh, I've never heard that term.
I know, Soldies. I love it because she took me to a concert here as well of a group named The Sacred Souls. Okay, The Sacred Souls. And they're based here in San Diego County.
Whoa.
And if you listen to them, I swear it sounds like a 60s soul group.
Okay.
But they're young people playing that music today.
Okay.
Yeah.
I love that. I'm going to check them out because I love that music. I grew up, my dad was a big rock and roll hair band, 80s guy. So
I still am too.
I've seen Van Halen. I've seen a lot of the big names out there. So I love that. Okay, the escape. When you shut your laptop and you need to completely disconnect, where in San Diego are you going to hide away?
So I'm going to put a twist on the answer
okay.
because I'm not an escapist.
Okay.
My designer side, so my background is also in fine art, painting, and all that stuff.
Cool.
But so I'm also a maker, right? So I used to build these insanely over-the-top, 1,000-piece model race cars.
Whoa.
And now, and I can't do that anymore, right? But as a grown-up, I now build custom watches.
What?
Yeah.
Wait, is this one of yours?
Yeah, this is one of mine. So check that out.
What?
Yeah. Right? So I build watches because that allows me to hyper-focus, because you ain't hyper-focused, you're bending one of the 100 parts, and then
it's done.
You start again.
That's beautiful,
right?
by the way.
And then, it allows me to be in my workshop, just, which is really just my home office, and just concentrate, tune out, and build something that at the end of the hours that I'm in there results in something tangible. And that's my thing.
I love that
right?
too. Yep.
I need to have results, something tangible. That's my designer side,
I think that's
my
just
maker
design.
side.
Yeah, it's all creativity.
I got to make something.
There's something got to be.
That's the most satisfying thing. I got to actually spend any extra time I have creating something that have a tangible result that I spent the time doing it.
Something to show.
That hours didn't just fly by and I got nothing to show for it. Right. That I can't take.
Yeah. That's You're not a big video game guy.
Zero. Yeah, complete zero. Yeah, unless I'm drawing and inventing the video game with somebody, I'm not spending time on it.
What? Morning fuel. What drives you or what wakes you up in the morning? Is it a favorite coffee spot? Is it a new idea you had the day before that you're excited about? What are the things that drive you to get up and be excited about what you do?
Yeah, thank you. Great question. And so my wife and I have a morning ritual. I'm actually not a coffee guy.
Awesome.
She is. So when I wake up, with my eyes open, I am at 100 miles an hour. There is literally nothing.
Give me some of that.
Yeah, I'm literally fired up the moment my eyes open, and I get up early because I'm so wired from the get-go, right? I don't need to slog into the day. I'm literally running, and the best, most productive times of my day are literally the first 3-4 hours early when I'm just jamming and getting stuff done because my mind is literally flying, all those hours. But as soon as I sense that my wife at the normal hour, 6 or 7 a.m., is ready to start her day, I make her coffee. Yeah. I've done it every day, pretty much of our 27-year marriage.
Good husband.
I bring her up her coffee so she can ease into the day and start her day, and then she's a phenomenal designer herself. And so we found a way to make it work for both of us.
I love that. You use your energy as a launching pad for her to find hers in the morning, and I learned that trick and try to make my wife coffee every morning too. It's a good staple.
So we're simpatico. Yeah, we're together on that, man.
Yes, on. A lot of small wins come from that.
A lot of big wins come from that small
Big,
effort.
that's true. Yeah. You put it's a lot of time, but it's something tangible, right?
Yeah.
Happy wife, happy life.
Indeed.
Weekend warrior. It's a sunny Saturday. You're going to the beach or a hiking trail or hang out at a local brewery or restaurant. What's your go-to?
Oh, I'm a crazy restaurant fanatic. I'm a museum fanatic. So any of our cultural parks and things like that, I'm all about that for sure. All of our museums, I've tried to be at every single one. You know, we've got so many museums in San Diego.
We have a ton.
We have like 18 in Balboa Park alone,
I know.
right? We just went to the Oceanside Museum last year or so. That has been being renovated by one of our, architect members. It's amazing the staycations you can also take.
Oh, amazing,
But the restaurant thing, I don't know. I have a TED Talk. I've had a couple
Okay.
TEDx Talks. And one of them starts with I try to eat at a different restaurant or at least a different food every day of my life.
Wow.
So that eating becomes learning, becomes experience, not just filling the stomach.
Well, I need to know more.
Yeah.
What?
No criteria. Don't
No
need
criteria?
a Yelp review. Don't need a recommendation. My
See
office
something
was
new?
for 10 years was in La Jolla.
Yeah.
Ate at every restaurant so many times. I had to tell my staff, where are we going next? Okay, let's move to Little Italy.
Yeah.
Right? We went to every restaurant so many times. We're next. Then we moved to Gaslamp Quarter. Right?
Lots of restaurants there.
Lots of restaurants there. So the priority was walk out the door with my crew, turn left, turn right. Whatever we haven't been to yet, that's the next place we're having lunch.
I love that.
That's it. Because it's not about finding the great restaurant, which we will eventually.
It's a
but
numbers
about
game at that
finding a
point. Yeah.
Story.
Yeah.
Who created this restaurant? Who's the owner? Is he or she here? Right? What is the story of this place? I have found so many little hole in the walls with amazing stories
That's
of
cool.
why they even exist.
Yeah.
Someone who immigrated from Jamaica, full-on engineer, came here, none of his credentials, were recognized.
Yeah.
He says, how am I going to survive doing odd jobs? And eventually says, you know what, call his grandma, his mom. He goes, you know what, there are no other something. I think it was maybe Ethiopian or something. Restaurants, right? There might be one other, but there's a decent-sized community. I'm thinking I want to start one.
That's
Boom.
so cool.
10 years later, he's still in business doing his thing in El Cajon Boulevard.
I love that.
It's like, finding a way to live your culture, but also survive economically, raise your family. There's so many great stories, and food is one of the things that we can all, right, embrace
Connect over
instantly.
And, instantly.
Like without any of the barriers or
Yeah.
walls or anything. We literally just go into a cultural or ethnic or any restaurant, and I study the interior design. I study, what's on the menu. I absolutely always ask, what's the story of this place? So I probably know more every time I go for 1 hour into a restaurant than all the regulars, because they never ask.
They don't ask. And I think that is something to be said, and something that I will take away from this is, as someone who enjoys, my wife and I bonded over going out and eating and pairing wine with food and really
Yes.
getting an understanding of why certain pairings exist and why certain foods and flavors mend so well together, right? So
Yeah.
I love that. You and I definitely have that in common. This will be my last one. You've worked in 11 different countries, unless it's gone up. Is that
No,
correct?
not worked. I lectured.
Lectured,
presented
okay.
In 11 different countries.
If you could teleport to any of those countries for dinner tonight, where are you going?
So continue on the food theme. So because of my wife and my complete willingness to try anything, two things. So first of all, in any of the even local restaurants, I don't actually have to typically look at a menu. If I actually get to talk to the manager or the owner, I just ask, what do you recommend?
Yeah.
Boom.
Bring it out.
They don't know I may not be back, but I want the story.
True.
Right from the get-go.
Yeah.
Because then I can tell everyone else to go.
Right.
So even though I may be adventuring to other different places, I will continue their stories and get them business forever.
That's amazing.
Right? So that's how I support the restaurant, even though I myself can't be a regular anywhere because there's too many places to
You got to try
still
a different one every day, right?
So we do the same when we visit and travel to another country. It's the same thing. We ask locals, where do they eat? What are their favorite places? Not
Smart.
the touristy spots, but where would they eat, right? And so the most amazing experiences, I would have to say, would be like Istanbul, Turkey.
okay.
Serious, right? 20 whatever million people. I think it's the only city in the world that's half in Asia and half in Europe. So it's truly multi-continental, in everything it does. It's
Yeah.
the language, its culture, and its cuisine. So that is absolutely, like I'm going to say top 3 at this point, even though we've so many of the classic great places. There's no shortage of amazing places in London and Paris and Madrid and all that stuff. But I'm going to also have to throw in a little alley in Tokyo, in Japan.
Don't get me started.
with these
That's on my-
tiny
it's on my
little
list.
alleys where you find these tiny little places that can hold like 4 or 5 people, but has been there for like 60 years.
Yeah.
Right? Doing it up in such a authentic, local way that it feels like, yeah, this is what traveling is about. Discovering how people do their thing and have been doing it for decades. Yeah.
So Japan's probably our next year trip. So I'll get a list from you. Try to find out where that alley is before I go.
There's many of them actually. That's the crazy part. In a lot of these countries where developments happen so rapidly, and throughout China, I think I've traveled and lectured at 5 different cities and throughout China.
Wow.
It's the same thing. You can have this mega glass and steel building next to this little community that has been there 1,000 years,
Right.
exactly the way it's been preserved, like from 1,000 years ago, right next to another modern building.
That's so crazy.
It's so crazy, but it makes being a tourist fascinating,
Yes.
endlessly fascinating.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Cool. Awesome. Thank you for letting us. That's the first time we've tried that segment, so we'll see how it turns out. But I feel like I know you so much better now, so I really enjoy that, and that's kind of the
fun
purpose
one.
of this as well. And just to close out, just want to give you the floor to talk about some of the upcoming events.
Yeah.
Anything that you want to say to the listeners about the AAA and where they can go to kind of get involved or look into becoming a student here.
Yeah. So this is New School of Architecture. So, you just go to the website for New School of Architecture and Design here in San Diego. For AIA, I think you already allowed me the honor of saying the website, aiasandiego.org. Go on there, send me an email, director@aiasandiego.org.
And he'll respond.
I will respond. I'll hook you up. As I mentioned, you've got 12 committees. Every area of interest in the industry is there. As far as the national conference, I mentioned the $35 right nominal rate for students to attend the conference. The conference is normally $1,499. Actually, it is that much for a regular full price membership. We have obviously discounts, available. And the promo that the national office is doing for California. New members is you get the entire conference for free if you join up as anywhere from California as a new AIA member.
Wow.
Yeah, so that's huge.
Time to join, guys.
Yeah, if you're ever going to join, if you're serious about architecture as a career, lifelong career, then join us. I think we've probably created as many opportunities, knocked down as many barriers as possible to join us this year.
I also heard there's some plans to potentially renovate the Civic Center and some surrounding areas. Can you talk a little bit about that?
Yeah, it's an amazing opportunity. The San Diego Downtown Partnership, the Prebis Center, and the City of San Diego have partnered to really relook again at revitalizing the Civic Center corridor because very few people use it actively anymore, and certainly those who don't even work downtown San Diego have rarely gone to the Civic Center except maybe to see a play, a great play or concert down there. Well, we have the privilege, because we're AIA, of bringing in 50 to 60 architects and urban planners from around the country who've worked on downtown urban renewal projects to do a workshop during the national conference with us to brainstorm about best ways, best approaches, best ideas for our Civic Center.
Cool.
It's a phenomenal opportunity, and only like a group like AIA can do that collectively. Right?
Absolutely, and that's exactly what you're saying. It's building that community of like minds and being able to bump shoulders and come up collaboratively with ideas that are going to better the city and better the overall experience and community. So I thank you for sharing that. I think that's really cool. I had no idea, so I'm sure a lot of people will be interested in seeing what happens there.
Yeah, that's the value of really being part of an industry association, being able to do things and work on things bigger than yourself.
100%.
Right? And hey, AI architecture has always been a collaborative profession anyway.
Right.
This is just next level collaboration,
Yes,
right?
top tier. I love that.
There you go.
Yeah. Well, thank you so much for sharing that, and really excited to release this. I'll obviously send you all the clips when it's all ready, and you'll be able to use those however you like.
Cool.
Awesome.
Thanks.
Thank you very much. Let's shake hands.